500 pounds of swordfish on his first set. If he can keep up this pace, he'll be headed home by the end of the month with a full boat of fresh fish. The crew celebrate the day's successes by enjoying a bit of the catch for themselves. In a restaurant back home, a table full of fresh swordfish steaks and big-eye ahi-pokey would fetch many hundreds of dollars. But for the fishermen of the Jackson T, it's just one of the perks that come with the job. Tonight, they will set their gear all over again, and in the morning they hope to match the productivity they saw today. The second haul is off to a quick and promising start. The sun has only begun to rise, and the Jackson T has a massive swordfish on the line. Because it's early in the haul and this portion of the gear hasn't been in the water very long, the fish has an enormous amount of fight in it, and if Captain Wong wants to land it, he will have to check the fish's energy and strength with technique and skill. The sword is diving deep now, and at its current pace, it will reach the end of the fight line and easily overcome the crew. In response, Wong orders Day to attach a 10-gallon buoy to the line. The buoy will provide enough resistance to keep the fish from diving further, and it will begin to tire enough for the crew to haul it in. After about 10 minutes, the buoy is recovered and the crew attempt to haul it in. But the fish has not resigned yet. It dives again, this time under the boat and to the starboard side. The crew must quickly bring the fight line around the stern before the fish can drag it against the hull and part the line. After another 15 minutes' time, it appears that the fish is finally within reach. As it comes to the surface, the crew at last see the size of the sword they've been fighting. This sword weighs over 600 pounds. Bringing a sword of this size onto the boat is no small feat either, and with the animal still very much alive, it can be extremely dangerous. Using the boat's hydraulic lift, in addition to several well-placed gaffs, they manage to hoist it up and get it on the boat. The day couldn't have started better for the Jackson T, and as I watch in amazement, several more good-sized swords are brought on board. Because the Jackson T is out at sea for several weeks, preserving the freshness of the fish is of the utmost importance. The buyers back at Honolulu Fish Auction are experts in determining quality, and there's no way around it. To get a good price, the fish must be in excellent condition. Over the years, Captain Wong has developed a method that is quite impressive. After being thoroughly dressed and cleaned on deck, each fish is placed in a large cooler of ice water. This brings its core temperature down to around freezing. Next, each fish is packed in ice in a temporary area of the hold for several hours before being repacked in its final spot. In this manner, when the fish are finally brought to market, Wong can rest assured knowing that he has done all he can to ensure the quality of his catch. Between catching, cleaning, and packing the fish, there is hardly a minute's rest on the deck of the Jackson T. As soon as the deck is cleared, more fish are brought on and the process continues all over again. Unlike other jobs, however, where heavy workloads result in complaints and low morale, on a fishing boat, this intense workload is what pays the bills and puts money on the table.
Rất là lo lắng, không phải tôi lo lắng riêng bản thân mình, tôi lo lắng nguyên cả anh em, nguyên cả người trên tàu, bất kỳ người nào tôi cũng lo lắng cho nhau hết, để được bọc nhau sống trên thương trường rồi biển.
So far, Captain Wong has little to complain about. After a near disastrous start to the trip, he is catching fish. He can only hope that his luck will prevail and he can continue to fill the hole at the current pace. It's been nearly 3 weeks now, and thanks to good fishing, the Jackson T is ahead of schedule, as each set is proving to be more productive than the last. As the crew begin hauling gear for the 20th set, they're in for a few surprises, and so am I. When a branch line comes up bearing tremendous weight, the crew assume it's another big swordfish. When they begin to haul it in, however, they realize that a giant devil ray has found its way onto their gear. With a wingspan of around 8 feet, this gentle giant is truly a wonder of the sea. Fortunately, it spits the hook and swims away unharmed. Every one of these fishermen have tales of strange sightings out at sea, and this devil ray is just an addition to the existing catalog. As the last branch lines of the set are hauled in, the Jackson T is in for one more surprise. This time, a 400-pound swordfish is hooked, and as it's brought in, its mate is seen swimming free around the boat. Swordfish can be extremely aggressive. They have been known to attack the boats that have hooked them, and since they often travel in pairs, the mates have been observed swimming around their hooked partner. This is rarely if ever documented, however, and it's exciting to see firsthand. Though a bit more common for the fishermen of the Jackson T, I'm still very impressed by the size of some of the mako sharks that end up on the gear. The Jackson T does not keep sharks on board, and instead cuts them free. But the 12-footer caught on the last set did not need any help freeing itself. In fact, it did a remarkable job, thanks to its hundreds of razor-sharp teeth and tremendous body strength. Being in close proximity to such a beautiful and powerful creature, and one with so many teeth, allows me to appreciate being on the boat all the more. It's now nearly the end of April, and Captain Wong has nearly filled his boat. A few more good sets and he'll be headed in, hoping for a high market price and a good end to his trip. It's been 4 weeks of fishing out on the high seas. The fishermen of the Jackson T have worked virtually non-stop during this time in weather conditions varying from beautiful to quite rough. Day after day they have set their hooks, hauled them in, and worked hard to board their catch. I asked Day what it's like to work out here on the high seas, and I'm impressed with his outlook on this demanding way of life.
Bây giờ công nhận bây giờ đang đi vô tới bờ, cảm giác con người rất là thoải mái. Trong hành trình một chuyến đã đi toàn thành công. Khi vô bờ rồi mà nghỉ được vài ban ngày thấy con người rất khỏe khoắn lại. Bắt đầu trong thời gian mình đã đi làm lâu, rồi bắt đầu khi mà khỏe khoắn rồi bắt đầu mình tiếp tục mình đi nữa. Thì công việc làm mà cứ đi về thì lúc con người mà được thoải mái là tốt hơn. Bây giờ đang chạy vô, và lúc nhất là khi mà vô tới cảng rồi, khi bóc cá đến bán hết rồi á, ước nhất là khi gặp bạn bè để chung vui được những ngày mà xa cách nhau và được gặp nhau rồi bắt đầu cùng nhau uống vài chai bia để chia sẻ những cái niềm vui mà khi mà mình đã đi lâu rồi bây giờ mình gặp lại.
Day is certainly right about one thing. It feels great to be headed home. After over a month on the high seas and with a boat full of swords, spirits are high and the energy is palpable on board the Jackson T. The crew prepare a final feast and kick back for a bit, at last able to relax and enjoy themselves. It takes several days to return to Honolulu from the fishing grounds, and Captain Wong is eager to know how strong the swordfish market has been this week. A difference in price of just a few cents per pound can make a big difference when dealing with tens of thousands of pounds. As the Jackson T makes port and prepares to offload their catch, tensions are high once again as Captain Wong awaits the auction bell. We're back at the United Fish Agency auction where it all began 6 weeks earlier. This time it's the Jackson T that's selling, and I feel a special connection to the fish I see here on the auction floor. After all, I was there as each of these fish were caught and brought on board. I sincerely hope that Captain Wong will get a good price for his catch, and I'm happy that at this point he seems optimistic.
I be happy about $5 something. I be happy. And I hope $4. This $4. That mean maybe they go $6. Last week, only today they start $5, and they go to $5.10. I believe maybe $6.50. Because it takes long time. It takes long time. Now you know how much that? $5.40. $5.40.
The demand for fresh seafood is as high as it's ever been, and as long as buyers continue to show up each morning to bid on the day's catch, captains like Wong and boats like the Jackson T will be headed back out to try their luck on the high seas. It's been a privilege to have experienced what life is like for the fishermen who are responsible for supplying the market, and to have seen firsthand where these fish come from and how they're caught. Wong is an exemplary captain with a tremendous amount of respect for the ocean that sustains his livelihood. It's truly been an unforgettable experience.
Always fishermen work too hard, but sometimes we don't know the market. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. But the job we have to keep go.